Want massive quads and a safe low back? Belt squats with a heel wedge. All right guys, if you're like me and you have a really screwed up or jacked up low back, but you still love squatting and training legs hard, there is no better piece for you. Instead of doing a yoke bar, a spider bar, barbell, front squats, is doing this belt squat. This to me is even better than a hack squat because we're not loading our spine, right? This is actually gonna help decompress our spine. So we're fortunate enough here at Elite to have a Rogue belt squat. This is beyond heavy. This is one of the heavier belt squats I've ever been on, but it feels exceptional. It's set up well, it's multiply adjusted with the handles, with the racking system, so it's easy for you to set up for your height and limb length, so you don't have to do a lot of extra work. Like there's some belt squats that, for me, don't have these handles, which I don't like those. I much prefer to have something to brace on, so I can focus on just driving my quads or glutes or hamstrings or whatever I'm targeting that day into the dirt. I don't have to think about balance. I'm not a gymnast. I'm here to train hard and grow muscle tissue. And the best way to do that, to me, is to be as stable as humanly possible and then just literally work my dick off. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into how to set up this belt squat with these prime heel wedges. I have a 20-degree here. They make them in 10, they make them in 30. 30 degrees is a little bit too much for me. 10 would be very adequate. For me, I like right in the middle. So a 20-degree heel wedge. And I'm gonna put these on the platform right beside where the cable is gonna come out of the bottom of this piece, and we'll get set up on it and talk about why I love this so much. For spacing here, I like to be angled towards the machine on both pieces. And then if you see where that cable comes, right, it's gonna hit right in the middle or the front third of that wedge. I put my toes, or right where the bridge or ball of my foot is, I'll put at the very bottom of that ramp. So you can see how my feet are. This feels absolutely incredible. This stance right here, notice where that cable is gonna track is where I have to really drive my knees over my toes and get a lot of knee flexion, forcing my quads to do work on this. So I'm gonna pull the rack back. You can grab up top here or on the neutral handles, whatever feels the most natural for you. I like on top with the pronated grip. And then from here, all we're gonna do is just sink these bad boys straight in the hole, slight pause, and then right up. Just like that, and up. Down, up. Down, up. Now, what you'll notice is I'm not pulling with my arms. So when I get in the hole here, I'm not driving up with my arms, right? This is just bracing myself. So I'm not even pulling with them, I'm just resting them, and then up, all quad. Here, 1, 2. Just literally sit straight down in that hole. There, and up. Now, let me take these ramps away and show you how most people do this, where they think they're getting their quads, but it's actually a ton of glute and hamstring. So, ramps off. Same thing, I'm gonna step on, up. Now, I'm literally taking almost the exact same stance, but watch how most people do this. They're gonna go back, they're gonna break at the hip. So it's here. You notice the difference? Where before I was breaking at the knee, with this, most people break at the hip and shoot those hips back. Guess what that is? Glutes and ass. Look at my knee in relation to my ankle. Yes, am I gonna get some quad? But that's a ton of glutes and hamstrings. So when you're doing these, if you're trying to target your quads, don't think break at the hip, we're gonna break at the knee, right? We have to get our quads to do the work. You see the difference there? Knees over toes, as opposed to knees over ankle. Major difference there. So again, you don't need those wedges if you don't have them or don't have the money to buy them, or your gym owner doesn't have any at their gym. Don't stress about that. It's all about form and technique. Those wedges just force me to drive knee, right? Because it pitches me up. Could you do it with plates, quarters, 10s, 100%, stack mats under your heels? All of that will work. But the main thing is just form and function, guys. So now that I showed you how to set those ramps up, how to do your form when you're targeting your quads specifically. Now, the next question is gonna be, Chris, where do I place in the workout, sets, reps, things like that? So for me personally, I like to place this towards the end of my leg day. One, because it helps decompress my spine, as I talked about earlier in the video. So if I do my heavy hack squats, if I do my leg press, then I come over here at the end and it decompresses my spine before I get into my direct glute work. So I like to place it towards the end of my workout. And then additionally, the reason I like to place it there is all of the stabilization is gone, right? I can brace myself, I'm hooked in with that belt, and it feels great. So I can go in here with really fatigued quads, not have to load nearly that much of weight on it, and just really trash any little bit that's left in that muscle tissue. Now, sets and reps. If I'm gonna do it on a heavy leg day, I like a top end and a back off. I like a simple strip set, triple drop set, rest pause set. All that's gonna work great. So you can do a top end or a back off. You can do a rest pause, meaning go to failure, rest, go to failure, rest, go to failure. You can even probably do a Chris Paul set on this. So if you don't know what one of those are, we'll tag that here. But in terms of reps, specifically, I like to do nothing less than 8. 8 to 20 is probably what I consider my sweet spot, or the zone I like to be in. And that's encompassing all of legs, not just this belt squat. So try this out, give it a shot. I'm telling you, you will love this, especially if you have these prime ramps or just a general ramp at your gym. Use it, try it out. It will trash your quads, give you a huge pump, and it'll get you going fast while keeping your spine healthy. If you like this video, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, QUADS TV.